Hello, this is NEWSPLUS and View Television. My name is Joy Malik. Well, hoodlums armed with guns and machetes on Sunday morning attacked the Ogoja local government INEC Collation Center in Cross River State. The hoodlums stormed the center when the results of the House of Assembly election in the Ogoja constituency was being announced. The spokesperson of the police command in Cross River State, SP Irene Ogbo, who confirmed the incident, however, said that the situation was quickly brought under control. She said most of the hoodlums have been arrested and were being profiled to ascertain the level of the involvement in the attack. The local government collation officer, Dr. Paul Bassi, who was injured during the attack and rushed to hospital, described the incident as barbaric. The electoral officer for Ogoja local government, Peter Kulu, said the hoodlums broke security barriers at the collation center with the intent of destroying the election results. Well, President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, has advised the incoming 10th National Assembly to maintain a bipartisan approach that prioritizes the national interests amid its deliberations. Lawan said this when he received outgoing British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katrina Lang, in his office in Abuja. The Senate President commended the outgoing UK ambassador for her work with the 9th Assembly in ensuring the passage of the Electoral Act 2022.
To ensure fast and serious capacity building as quickly as we can, because we need to bring into form that the members of the parliament will be able to kickstart immediately. So we have to make every possible effort to provide for capacity building for our colleagues, especially those who are new. And since 70%, it's almost 70%, that means we just have to spend a lot of resources. And I will take this opportunity to say that the National Assembly needs a lot more resources for it to be in the kind of form and shape that will provide the kind of service, parliamentary service to the Nigerian people.
Speaking earlier, Lang described Nigerians' politics as fascinating, while expressing joy over her stay in the country. The outgoing ambassador said that she made very good friends during her stay in the country.
Highs, and I've had overall a wonderful experience here in Nigeria. I've made many very, very good friends, have developed some really important, strong working relationships, including with you personally, and I want to thank you for all the support you've given me and my team, all the many bills you've helped navigate through Parliament, which is, of course, the foundation of the whole governance process. You know, it's what goes on in the Parliament and the Senate is really the foundation of a democracy, and I think you've done an amazing job, and we've worked very well with you on all of that. So this is really just for me to say farewell, to say thank you, but not the end. I hope we'll continue to, whatever role you move into, I'll be certainly watching Nigeria very closely, and I hope my successor, Richard Montgomery, will be able to forge a strong relationship with you in your new position.
The Senate President assured that the Senate would, in the remaining 2 months of its lifespan, focus on legislative efforts needed to complement those by the executive arm of government and ensuring improved security and a thriving economy for Nigerians. Well, the Federal Executive Council has approved the Nigerian Economic Agenda 2050 long-term plan. Also approved by FEC is the 6th medium-term of 5-year plan, which will be dealing with the various specifics in terms of strategies towards the Agenda 2050's broad macroeconomics and the sectorial outlook. Minister of State for Finance, Budget and National Planning, Clement Akbar, gave these hints while briefing State House correspondents as part of resolutions reached at the meeting of the Executive Council presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari. The minister said The agenda benchmarks Nigeria amongst other upper-middle income countries that have already achieved some levels of economic and social development which Nigeria's sole desire by 2050.
So the Agenda 2050 itself is the broad framework of the direction that we want to go. And it looks at the broad macroeconomic and sectorial outlook from 2021 to 2050. We also look at the macroeconomic results, sectorial outlooks, and the associated employment and poverty implications, which we are generated from complementary analytical underpinnings. We benchmark Nigeria amongst other upper middle income countries that have already achieved some level of economic and social development, which Nigeria also desires to have by 2050. And the indicators that were derived from those benchmarking were put or served as input in the dynamic computable general equilibrium model. It's a model that is used for long-term planning. Unlike when we did the medium-term plans, we were using the input-output models, the econometric model. But those are things you use for short or medium term.
Meanwhile, before the commencement of the weekly meeting, President Muhammadu Buhari has sworn in 7 reappointed board members for the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission. Well, Professor Bayomi Salami, President, Electoral Commissioner of Ekiti State, said the State Assembly election in Ekiti was largely peaceful, except for the only challenge in the low turnout of voters. The REC said this after election monitoring at the INEC office while speaking with newsmen. Salami said apart from the low turnout of electorates across the state, the election had been very largely successful. He assured residents that the people should expect the result to be declared would be a true reflection of their wish because the process was transparent, and then the collation and the declaration would also be very transparent and open. The REC also commended the efforts made by INEC in the assembly elections, adding there was no reports on the failure of beavers. Well, the Nigerian Correctional Service says it has no fewer than 125 inmates on death row in its facilities in Gombe and Bauchi State. National NCOS officials confirmed this while responding to a survey by the newsmen on death penalty in Gombe and Bauchi State. Well, the Controller of Corrections in Gombe, Lawa Gasu, said the service has 94 inmates comprising 93 males and 1 female on death row in 8 facilities in the state. He said the inmates were awaiting execution of the death penalty. According to him, there are 1,692 inmates in the state as of February 28, 2023. He said 94 of the 1,692 inmates were on death row and 7 lifers were 770 convicted inmates and 821 awaiting trial. Also, the Statistics Officer, National Correctional Service, Bauchi State Command, DSC Abdullahi Usman, said 24 inmates comprising 22 males and 2 females were awaiting execution in the states. The People's Democratic Party chairman in Eza North Local Government Area, Peter Wenke, is dead. He died from injuries he sustained from attacks by hoodlums suspected to be political thugs during the governorship and assembly elections. Police spokesperson Onome confirmed the death of Weke on Sunday. She said Weke was beaten up and rushed to the hospital unconscious, where he was later pronounced dead by a doctor. Anome said the police has launched an investigation into the death with a view to arresting and prosecuting anyone responsible. Well, you're still watching News Plus and VO Television. Let's go on a quick break and then return. News Plus continues, so stay tuned.
The story of a charmer and his crush.
Before you came round, I was ready to slow down. Before you came round, I was heading for a small disaster. Before you came round, I was ready to blow me down.
Tat Fragrance, the new luxury fragrance for men and women.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Plus and VO Television. Now, let's take it to Rivers State and how the campaign director of the All Progressive Congress (APC) in Ahoda West local government area of Rivers State, Chisom Leonard, who was adopted by gunmen, has been killed. Well, the disease was reportedly adopted by the unknown gunmen who were dressed in police uniform while he was casting his vote at Ibigwa polling unit 2 Wathen in Ahoda West local government area. Leonard was exercising his franchise during the governorship and state assembly elections when the incident happened. According to reports, the APC chieftain was making efforts to stop the gunmen from snatching election materials when he was whisked away to an unknown destination. The state publicity secretary of the party, Danlitin Woju, confirmed the incident to newsmen. Well, the Borno state governorship election experienced low turnout voters but recorded no security breach. The voter apathy was widely seen in Maiduguri metropolis, as Beatrice Chrissy reports.
There was restriction of vehicular movement around the Maiduguri metropolis to enable residents participate in the governorship and House of Assembly elections in Borno State. Some of the polling units had few voters who turned up for accreditation and voting.
Yeah, I casted my vote about just a quarter to 9 because the election start 8:30, then I casted before 9.
Borno's incumbent Governor Umara Zulum casted his vote in his hometown in Mafa local government. He commended the smooth process and expressed confidence of being re-elected.
I couldn't spend more than 2 minutes for the accreditation exercise. I think INEC has done well, and we have to commend the efforts of the INEC in ensuring a credible election in the state. As far as we are concerned, our party APC is not willing to see any misbehavior at the polling booth. We must obey with all the INEX rules and regulations.
The Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima also joined Maiduguri residents to cast vote.
Like in my own polling unit, in the last election I couldn't vote until around 12 noon. But this time around, they were ready by 8, 9, and I voted on time. Professor Zulum is a force of nature. Is there any governor in Nigeria that is better than him? That's the naked truth. Yes. We are on the cusp of recording a tremendous victory by God's grace in the governorship elections.
The outcome of the elections will determine whether the incumbent will be rewarded with another 4 years or another person will take over come May 29, 2023. Bitrus Kuruti, Viewer Television News.
In Lagos State, the Independent National Electoral Commission has postponed governorship and state assembly elections and 10 polling units in the Victoria Garden City around the Lekki area of Lagos State. Well, some of the polling units affected include PU 03, 2033, 119 to 124. Well, INEC President Electoral Commissioner in Lagos State, Segun Agbaje, told newsmen the corps members deployed as ad hoc staff to the area were hesitant to enter the VGC estate as they alleged that they were held hostage in the February 25th presidential and National Assembly elections. Well, he said the commission's ad hoc staff set up voting materials in front of the estate, but the estate residents claimed that hoodlums might disrupt the process, so they did not feel secure and could not cast their votes. He said the situation was difficult for security agents to contain, hence he and his team had to come to the area. And on insecurity, an early morning attack by suspected Islamic State of West African province fighters was repelled by troops of Operation Hadinke in Mafa local government area of Borno State. Well, according to sources, the ISWAP drove trucks and motorcycles, shooting sporadically, but a swift response from the gallant troops repelled them. A resident of the town, Kamal Dawood, who alerted the CSO's platform, said the God is sufficient for the people as the attackers were repelled, adding that the situation is getting better. This was coming less than 24 hours after the Borno State Governor Babangana Abdulum was in the town to cast his votes at his polling unit 001 Ajari Road in Mafa, the headquarters of the local government area. Well, on fuel subsidy, the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, has sought partnership with Voice of Nigeria as the federal government ends subsidy regime in June. The minister, who said this when she visited Voice of Nigeria office in Abuja, said it was important for the agency and other media organizations to help sensitize Nigerians on the need to end subsidy. Well, according to her, ending fuel subsidy will enable government to use funds meant for it for developmental projects, among other benefits.
And I do hope that we continue to partner with each other, because educating the Nigerian population is important. We have a big task ahead of us now in my ministry, in partnership with the Ministry of Petroleum Resources. We made a commitment that we will exit fuel subsidy by June of this year. And the exit process was delayed because there was, of course, some challenges within the economy, and there was election going on, and so many things that had caused more difficulties for the people. But then we cannot afford the fuel subsidy anymore. So we need your agency to work with us, together with the FRCNs, the NTAs, and all of the media houses, to educate the citizens that this fuel subsidy is actually harmful for us. It's not beneficial the way it is being turned out to do. Because
Earlier, the Director General Von Osita Okechukwu thanked President Buhari for assisting the agency in the discharge of its duties. He said the agency, among other things, was able to secure a befitting and permanent office through the President's intervention.
We are one of the beneficiaries of Mr. President's anti-graft program. This building is his honor, is his own program. And graciously, we tallied a while because initially when he approved it, it was on interim forfeiture. We feel highly honored with their presence. We also know the support you gave Mr. President in trying to urge infrastructure in every nook and cranny of the country. So we appreciate the good work you have contributed to our dear fatherland. I will continue to pray for you and your family, that since you've committed a lot to public service, right from the time where you were a native, I will continue to pray to Almighty God to continue to guide you and bless your lovely family.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has intercepted 2.7 kg of cannabis concealed in dried onions, which was to be exported to Dubai through a postal fair. It also said no fewer than 1,205,260 pills of opioids were seized in two interdiction operations in Kogi and Gombe states by operatives of the agency. Well, the spokesperson for the anti-narcotic agency, Femi Babafemi, in a statement also revealed that officers at the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos State, disrupted the activities of a drug syndicate that operated within Nigeria, East Africa, and Europe. The agency arrested two members of the cartel. Now, Babafemi noted that after the arrest, a proper search of the bag was conducted before the two suspects, leading to the recovery of 3 kilograms of heroin. And on news around the world, a deadly earthquake with a magnitude of 6.8 has hit southern Ecuador and northern Peru, killing no fewer than 15 people. Well, the earthquake also trapped many people from both countries on the rubble, where rescue teams have been deployed into streets littered with debris and falling power lines, according to the press. The United States Geological Survey reported the earthquake devastated the country's coastal Goiás region. Its center was about 50 miles, that is 80 kilometers south of Guayaquil, which has a metropolitan area of more than 3 million people. The Ecuadorian president, Lasso, said the earthquake had, without a doubt, generated alarm in the population, and he demanded in a tweet that people remain calm.
Se movía durísimo, sonaba. Y en locales de eléctricos que se movían todos. Y los ventanales se escuchaban los vidrios cómo caían. Y la gente era en la calle a rezar, a orar, porque no paraba.
Well, the courts in Islamabad has cancelled Imran Khan's arrest warrant after intense clashes between police and the former Prime Minister's supporters outside the judicial complex. Khan officially appeared before the court in Pakistan's capital, complying with the judicial order that led to a failed attempt to arrest him on Tuesday. He is facing various legal challenges, including unlawfully selling state gifts given to him by foreign dignitaries while in office from 2018 to 2022. Khan says he followed legal procedures in acquiring the gifts. There were clashes outside the court between police and Khan supporters. The Islamabad police alleged that Khan supporters shelled the judicial complex and set fire to a police post. The local media reported that inside the courtroom, people and the judges faced difficulties due to the effects of tear gas used by the police. Well, Kazakhstan holds snap parliamentary elections as the leader of the Central Asian country pushes political reforms the critics say are designed to consolidate power 1 year after deadly protests. Now, polling stations opened in the capital Astana and Almaty, Kazakhstan's largest city. Around 12 million voters have until 8 p.m. to cast their ballots. The huge oil-rich nation is wished to return its former Soviet master Russia and China, which is gaining status in Central Asia as an economic powerhouse. President Kasim Jomart announced the early vote as part of a modernization drive introduced months after protests against fuel prices erupted in January last year. Kasim Jomart, a former diplomat, was handpicked in 2019 by his predecessor and mentor to take the helm after a nearly 3-decade rule. Well, Israelis gathered in towns and cities nationwide for an 11th straight week of protests against the judicial reform plans of the hard-right government of Prime Minister Benjamin. The protesters feared that the proposed reforms, which are already moving through parliament and would increase the power of politicians over the courts, are a threat to Israeli democracy. In Tel Aviv Square, thousands of demonstrators waved the blue and white Israeli flag of Israel as well as the rainbow flag of the LGBTQ community. The demonstrators blocked roads as they set off on a march through the heart of the city. Saving democracy, said one placard held aloft by the crowd. And that's all on News Plus. Many thanks for watching. I am Joy Malik. Please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye for now.